Welcome to the Texas Consilium Show. I'm Michael Yorba, Chairman of Advanced Community Fund. And my guest today is David Jones. He's the Program Manager for John Burns Construction Company in Texas. David, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, David, first of all, congratulations on your nomination for the Texas Consilium Business Excellence Award. I want to thank you for taking the time to join with us. Our objective today is just to let you tell your story in your own words, and we'll review this later as in part of the evaluation process. So let me start with you. Tell us about yourself and your business.
So I act as the program manager. It's kind of a unique role down here. We've expanded some divisions over the last few years. I'm responsible for the function of those things moving forward from stern to stem, and not every aspect is taken care of by me. Obviously, it's a team that makes it happen, and we definitely take a team approach. My background is in engineering, so I'm very analytical in the things that I look at. In the way I approach things, I like to see it, touch it, understand how it works, and then make decisions from there. So we have implemented a lot of those technologies through my tenure here. The last 14 years, and I've seen a lot of good results come out.
Give us an insight on what your company does. What does John Burns Construction focus on?
So the function that we find ourselves supplying to the community is underground utility construction. That can be it's one of those things that especially like I said, I have a civil engineering background, so a lot of things that we do are things people use every day, but nobody actually sees the actual product behind them. We appreciate that they're there, but don't understand the efforts that it took to get them there. So we install underground utility work from storm sewer, sanitary sewer, and water. We also do telecommunications, running fiber and conduit to allow telecommunications through neighborhoods and businesses. And we also install electrical duct bank infrastructure, which for around here, for the most part, for the Dallas-Fort Worth area, is Encore Electric. Allow for the expansion and improvement and development of areas around town. So,
what's your vision for your business? I mean, let's look forward, say 5 years, and where do you want your business to be?
You know, we think, and we have a lot of strategic planning that goes into that. In that, we got to, right, and that's much further down the road. But you got to take baby steps to get there. In doing that, we know that you can't double overnight comfortably, right, and reasonably without exposing yourself to a lot more risk than probably return. We have no intentions of growing 200%, but we'd like to see 10 to 20% in the next 5 years. We have also set strategic goals that we do and schedule once a year. We sit down as a group with all leadership and ownership and look at realistic growth in the area, what regions and what sectors that we can actually recognize and move forward with those and try to get the best result for our business.
What makes your business so special? I mean, you've got to have a disruptive quality, a differentiator that makes you different than anybody else in your field. That's why you are so successful, and that's why you were nominated.
I really think the thing that separates us from a lot of our competitors is our field knowledge and the expertise and stewardship we have out there, that we're not scared in a lot of opportunities that come up. We're known for doing very difficult work, and again, we can't do that without our field forces that have the expertise and the knowledge base to get those things done. On the flip side, we also have integrated some technologies in our office, so we're continually improving our process. We see daily what performance gains and losses we've had based on production, so we're constantly improving our process. And again, that's a daily, hourly. As soon as we recognize a failure, both in the field or in the office, we can capitalize on learning from it and moving forward.
Now, Texas Consilium Award is based on business excellence. The criteria Well, it encompasses area like customer satisfaction, operational excellence, employee satisfaction, and business performance, and more. But describe how your company exemplifies excellence.
I think we exemplify excellence in pretty much every category that you talked about. I think uh, it's a consensus of those things. You have to have customer satisfaction, right? Any business knows that customer satisfaction is probably number one when it comes to continuing your business in the right direction, especially growing, kind of like we talked about in the earlier segment. You also talk about employee satisfaction. You have to have the team, right? Just like we talked about, having a very broad and successful field knowledge. You have to have the right team for the right job, and if you have the wrong cast of characters, you're not going to get the product that you're looking for. And in that, I think we exemplify these things in the fact that we have 5 leaders in our company that have 25 plus years. So people are staying here, out of choice, right? Because the construction industry is very vibrant right now, even in our current state of affairs. And these people are great at their jobs, excel at their positions, and they choose to stay here because of the culture and the process we've done and implemented. And those things speak for themselves, and I'm proud of it.
Now, if you were speaking to an audience of Texas business leaders and they want to improve their own businesses and leadership journeys, if you will, what lessons have you learned that you'd most like to share with them?
I can tell you the thing that I think everybody takes with a grain of salt, and it sounds so cliche, is communication from top to bottom. Everybody, again, the name of the game for us at least is learning from mistakes. If you don't admit that there's a problem and you don't recognize that there's a problem and voice it to the group or the appropriate authority that you're answering to, there's nothing to be gained from that. Communication is by far the most important thing that I think any group needs to focus on to become better. I know it, again, cliche but true. It finds it's a pitfall every time you find out somebody's not talking left hand or right hand. So
Well put. And, I get to speak to a lot of leaders, and I'm going to tell you that that is one of the critical things that I've seen all successful people have to have. And some of them don't recognize it as well as you do, that communication is a big key to being not only an excellent company, but a well-rounded company. Last question that I have for you is the community involvement, social responsibility. Is John Burns Construction doing anything in that area?
absolutely, we feel like it's our responsibility to kind of give back to the communities that have definitely blessed us with our backlog and our business relationships, and a lot of areas that we work in. Our major client that we do work with is City of Dallas Water Utility Division, and a lot of times we're doing projects that are in very difficult areas to live in, and the people are struggling. And we found that it best served us and made our hearts, fulfill the most when we had community efforts that included those people. And in those responsibilities are something that we know we have to have. The groups that we've worked with are Crossroad Community Services. It's a food bank down in Dallas, and we were hands-on. We came with a group of about 10, pretty much all of our office staff, and we served the community. We grabbed grocery carts, went around with the residents that came by for their weekly rations of food from the food bank, and that was heartwarming to see that we could give back to the same people that help keep our lights on and keep us moving forward. We also have another group. It's Rebuilding North Texas. We go and do, being a construction company, we have a bunch of handy guys that are passionate about improving, whatever, if it's our house or somebody else's. And in this case, Rebuilding North Texas allows us to go into a family that has a need or a restriction in their community or their home, and then we'll go in there and help assist uh, repair kitchens. And in one case, we redid a bathroom in another. And we've done these events a couple times a year, and with great results that everybody keeps asking when's the next event. So.
Brilliant, and you're to be commended for that. More companies should follow in your footsteps. All right, David, thank you. That concludes this portion of the interview, and that we would use publicly. I want to ask you a couple of additional questions off camera.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for being a part of the show. And we'll pause for just a moment, and I'll come back with some more questions.
Appreciate it. Thank you.